this presentation on Jala Hi Jibana, the title, which is Odia, and English it will be Water is Life. So, with your permission, can I present my
Yes, sir.
presentation?
Yes, sir. You can just share your screen with the PPT and you can start, sir.
Okay, thank you, thank you. So before presentation, I will speak a few words. This is not like a individual project. Rather, it is a number of activities that groundwater development undertake as a nodal agency for groundwater for the state of Odisha since 25 years. So this presentation showcases different activities which are related to planning management towards integrated use of water resources with special emphasis to groundwater resources. The objective is to share information to different stakeholders of groundwater and to create awareness in publics so that they can take a participatory approach to our endeavor towards saving water, especially groundwater. It is only when the public feel the importance of groundwater, they will definitely adopt for its conservation. We are, of course, there to extend all sorts of technical help to them to adopt conservation measures. With this backdrop, I will proceeding to next slide. So, sir, these are our major activities like assessment of groundwater resources, groundwater table and quality monitoring, detailed hydrogeological survey and preparation of block-wise hydrogeological reports, remote sensing studies and preparation of GIS thematic maps, hydrogeological investigations in micro watersheds, water quality study in specific areas, source finding of groundwater for different user agencies and individuals, and last groundwater recharge through rooftop rainwater harvesting and artificial recharge structures. And also in different external aided projects, we undertake studies like ground specialized studies taking consultant from Institute of Repute like Indian Institute of Technology. So these are the activities. This is the georesistivity survey for source finding of groundwater, as shown in my clippings. The different areas of the block are geophysically surveyed to know the aquifer geometry of that block or area. We undertake the georesistivity survey. From this georesistivity values, the potential aquifer zone is delineated. So this is water table and quality monitoring in different blocks and towns. The objective is to study the behavior of groundwater. We do take groundwater level measurement 4 times a year, and we record that data in our divisional processing centers. So we have a processed data over a period of 20 years, 25 years. And of course, at present, we are one of the implementing agency under National Hydrologic Project. So under that project, the objective is to share groundwater level and quality information that are shared in India WARIS, India Water Resources Information Systems. So we have at present over 1,000 of monitoring stations in the states, and we have another plan to another 550 monitoring stations, over which we have shared informations about 450 stations, and we are planning to cover about 1,050 monitoring stations, informations of the monitoring stations. So these are some of the hydrogeological reports we have done for many of the blocks of the Odisha. This is the special research study for the external aided projects in hydrology project 2. We have taken 2 research projects, that is finding delineation of waterlogged and salt affected areas in the coastal tract of Odisha. So we took IIT Roorkee as the consultant, and under their consultancy, our technical team worked and brought out the report. These are the some methodology in the field which we undertook, like soil sample collection and water sample collection, and we delineated the area. So we undertook, sir, feasibility studies for artificial recharge in micro watershed areas. Different methods are different hydrogeological parameters as well as site conditions are meticulously studied before planning for artificial recharge projects. These are the some of the photographs of the artificial recharge structures, check dams in construction stage and completion stage, top two and bottom two. We are specially designed this. The bottom two photographs depicts the groundwater recharge shafts in existing tanks and ponds. The principle is the when in rainy season, when the water spills out of the pond, that goes to the adjacent fields. So we have developed this technique so that the spilled water, this one, sorry. The spilled water enters into this pipe, and we have a groundwater recharge shaft, and the groundwater is recharged to the aquifer. Again, in urban areas, we do undertake the feasibility studies of rooftop rainwater harvesting. In urban areas, different parameters like rainfall data, roof area, aquifer type, depth of occurrence of aquifer are studied, and owners of the buildings are motivated to implement RRH, rooftop rainwater harvesting systems in their building. These are some photographs of the rooftop harvesting systems in urban areas. So we actually have implemented in the first phase 2019 to 2014 to 2019, and in that period we have covered 9,000 private building and 300 government building under this rooftop rainwater harvesting system. So in Puri, in Gundicha temple, also special feasibility studies for implementing rainwater harvesting systems we have studied and implemented. In 2019, it was implemented inside the Gundicha temple. So motivation to public is important for conservation of groundwater. So different street plays in important locations where easy attention can be drawn. Different street plays are conducted by this organization. Also, both private and commercial building owners are provided with technical know-how by workshop being conducted by this organization. And that's all in my presentation. So I have actually prepared a short video. If the jury members permit, I can present over here. This is 10 minutes.
No. We don't want video. We have some very specific questions. I think let us first address that.
Yes, sir.
I think this is an excellent exercise what you have done. However, I have 2 or 3 very important questions.
Yes, sir.
Number one, how are you measuring the outcome of the rainwater harvesting? Are you measuring on a regular basis? What is the impact of that on the existing groundwater which is there at the various places in your state? Number two, what are the problems that you are facing in the maintenance of the rainwater harvesting systems? Because I have seen at many places, lot of capital investments were made initially, But over the last 2, 3, 4 years, the whole thing went waste because there was no proper maintenance, and all those pits which were dug and everything, they got again covered with concrete and other things, and there was no rainwater harvesting which was going on. So what is that regular monitoring and maintenance processes that you have adopted? Now, these are my two first fundamental questions.
Okay, sir. The first one, I'll reply. Before going for any rainwater harvesting in an area, we get the post monsoon water level.
That's right.
Before pre-construction stage, we get the post monsoon water level. It is beyond 3 meters.
Yes.
So we undertake rainwater harvesting over there. And
Okay.
after implementation, we do, as I said in my slides, we do periodic measurement of that area, those
Yes.
areas.
So this periodic is on every year type of a thing? Because
And the second one, like maintenance, we do have a budget for maintenance of actually two types of projects we have. One is rooftop rainwater harvesting in public buildings, and second one is government buildings.
yes,
So we at present don't have the provisions for maintenance of the rooftop rainwater harvesting in public buildings. So only way is to motivate them and make them aware. And for government buildings, we have the provision for maintenance of the recharge shaft, cleaning up the siltation made in the recharge pits. So we have the provision, and we are doing that.
see, the only point is having a provision and having it actually done. There are a lot of differences in that. So my only point, which again I want to highlight, is if you have a regular check back on the outcomes and impact, I think that will give a very clear indication as to how well the maintenance also is going on.
Yes, sir. In the fast trans, when we undertook the rooftop rainwater harvesting schemes in Odisha during 2014 to 19, we have a third-party evaluation of the impact assessment of the outcome of the year. That was done by a Hyderabad-based organization, and he submitted its report based on some technical as well as social questionnaires, and he submitted the report. So based on that report, we are planning for the second tranche, which is likely to be approved within this year.
Okay.
Actually, those data you could have shared with us.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I didn't find that. And then we see that you are doing survey, 4 times survey in a year. All the 3 and very good intervals for the overall water table measurement. Can you also show us, because you are doing so much of integrated planning and rejuvenation of the groundwater and monitoring them regularly, can you give us some kind of a table where it says that through your interventions, the groundwater has actually gone up by this much or not gone up, or the quality anyway you are probably not doing that, is not under your provision, but can you do the qualitatively, that how much the water table has gone up through your interventions? Because otherwise what you are doing, they're good job, absolutely no doubt about it, but there is nothing new in it. The job of the groundwater department is to ensure that these activities are undertaken. You are doing it well, that's a different story, but are you doing it well in a very novel way? Are you doing something extra which is giving better results than it would have done otherwise in a routine manner? So those features I couldn't see any in your presentation.
So, ma'am, to reply your questions about the impact of increase of groundwater level. So we have covered only 9,000 private buildings over this period of 5 years.
Sorry, I am not talking only about rainwater harvesting. That is one issue, definitely. But you are talking about the entire groundwater department, right? The
Yes,
geology department side.
Yes,
But the
ma'am.
total groundwater department
Yes,
activities.
Yes,
So you are having a multi-prong approach.
yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
So I'm asking the overall impact of the entire activity of the department. And you
Yes,
do
ma'am.
have data for last 15, 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So
We
you
do
should
have.
be able to tell us very, comprehensive data.
Yes, ma'am. And that has been very well reflected in our groundwater resource assessment, which has been done in association with the Central Groundwater Board, beginning from 1997 to 2020. So earlier it was done in every 5 years, and now from 2017 onwards, groundwater resource assessment is done in 3 years. So last groundwater assessment was done in 2020, where the stage of groundwater resource extraction percentage is 43.65%, which is about 1% higher. And 6 blocks in state of Odisha is found to be semi-critical. That means the stage of groundwater resource extraction percentage is more than 70%. So
I think I can make my question clear.
yes,
See, people are extracting more and more water because the population is going up, usage is going up, and everybody wants to use it for different purposes. So that is for sure, it is happening. But you are also doing interventions which will be getting more water into the ground.
yes,
That's what your department's
yes,
the mandate is, right?
yes, yes,
So there are two things going on side by side. One is you are injecting, or rather your interventions are going to put more water into the table or conserving the water. Basically, that is the mandate, and
yes,
people are taking more water from the ground.
yes, ma'am.
So between the two forces, you have to bring out a balance.
Yes, ma'am.
If you are going to conserve the environment, then balance has to be brought.
Yes, ma'am.
So can you tell us those two aspects, like vis-a-vis, through your interventions, how the table is going up, and then people are extracting, so it is going down. So both the things has to come together, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, madam, we have proposed to have a more numbers of groundwater recharge shafts in existing tanks and ponds. So we have proposed for groundwater shafts for 2,000 numbers in different water scarce blocks of the Odisha. So we will
So
take.
that is what you are proposing. I am
Yes.
asking, what have you done? Because this project evaluation is for what you have done so far, right?
So, ma'am, we have done that rainwater harvesting, and we are monitoring the water level data. And
But that data we have. So
data I can
you
share.
send, I mean, because the presentation didn't contain it, can you send that data
Yes.
in a tabular form?
Yes, ma'am.
Not
Yes.
the nitty-gritty of the data, but the trend.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
trend in which data, the water table is going up or down, and also because of your rainwater, for those places where you have set up your rainwater harvesting centers or equipment, how the table is going up and down in those areas.
Yes, yes,
You know,
ma'am.
there are two different tables.
Yes,
One is going down because of the usage, the other is going up because of the intervention.
Yes, ma'am. I will definitely send because
You can share it to her. You can share it to
I
Scott.
think you can share that. I think we should also move ahead now. So we are already in the second session. We have
Yes,
spent
yes,
10 minutes. So
Thank
we are, abhi wo,